Joining me as he does every week is the Liberal MP, member for Menzies, Keith Wolahan. Keith Wolahan, thanks for your time and thanks for joining us this Good Friday. Let me start with a broader question about the challenge in a campaign. I know there's a bit of a truce happening today and we're not going to get too partisan on Good Friday, but more of a philosophical question if I can. How does an MP and a politician seek to, distance yourself or avoid tribalism when it comes to politics?
I think that's unfortunately a key feature of politics, not just in Australia, but around the world. And our job is really to put forward an objective truth and to communicate that in an honest way. But unfortunately, we've seen in campaigns, truth is getting replaced by narrative. And I saw that you interviewed Father Frank Brennan, and I often reflect on the Voice campaign, where that was an example of where narrative dominated truth. He was a proponent of the Voice, but could see its flaws. He saw it as an unnecessarily powerful model that wouldn't win the support of people and had legal risk. Yet I saw when he put those arguments in a really gentle way, he's a gentle, lovely person, he was rounded upon. The vicious attacks on him were more than I had seen in a campaign and more than I had expected. And I think history has shown that he was right. So I think as we go forward to this election campaign, we must, as we debate each other with respect as people and debate the ideas and be open to the fact that maybe not every bit of our idea is perfect and we should contest the ideas in a manner that's respectful.
And just because someone disagrees with the stance, or the narrative, as you put it, doesn't mean they're bad people. And that is a perfect example you referred to with Father Frank, who was on the program earlier, reflecting on the message of Easter. But the idea of renewal and helping the marginalised, and obviously that issue of the Voice is discussed, given he's such an advocate for Indigenous Australians, and that yet some advocates for the Voice didn't see his advice as being well motivated. It baffled me at the time. It baffles me now how they did not listen to his advice, Keith.
And not just him, many others, including my good friend Julian Leeser. And I had a different view on the risks for the Voice to Julian and Frank. I thought the risks were greater than even they thought. But I think the best advocates for yes were those two and many others. There were others that I saw come before that committee and write op-eds and write books about how this project could be advanced. And I think those who reflect upon that referendum should have some honest self-reflection about how they treated those who were really their friends, and they cast them out because they didn't have a pure view of the model that they wanted.
Yeah, and who could see the history and the need for bipartisanship, which was a fundamental point. When you're going to go to a referendum, you can't do it unless you've got both sides on board. And Father Frank was making that point from the get-go, which seemed pretty obvious, and even more so now in hindsight. Now, Keith Wolahan, as you look at the polling, the YouGov poll out today, the coalition primary down to 33, are you worried about the trend here with just 2 weeks to go?
I know people say the same answer, which is the only poll that matters is on election day. But honestly, when polls come out, I actually don't read them. I'll get texts from people who will say just what you've just said. But it doesn't change what we do on the ground. All of the candidates of all sides and all members, we're putting, except for today, we are putting all our efforts into speaking to people who are still yet to make up their mind. And many Australians make up their mind as they walk in to vote. And so the volunteers for all the parties, major or minor, they will be doing their very best to spruik the policies and the values and the character of the candidates that they're backing. And can I just say this, Kieran, all of the volunteers, I tip my hat to all of them. They're all giving up their time and they're doing it because they believe in their cause and they believe in Australia and democracies matter, and at election time it matters most. So I know some people think an election is an annoyance, but imagine not having one. This is who we are as Australians, and people have fought and died for this honour that we are going to really cherish on the 3rd of May.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a good point. Imagine not having one. This is a great democracy and one that we need to celebrate and continue to protect, because sometimes they can be quite fragile. So we have to ensure that the idea of free speech and democracy and democratic values is protected. But I totally agree. I think it's a wonderful time, and a time that we need to really hold up and share as Australians. Next week we've got the Menzies debate that I'll be down there in Melbourne. I'm looking forward to that one with you and your opponent, Keith Wolahan.
No, I'm looking forward to that, and I've been on other debates and forums with my opponent. There's other candidates for Menzies as well, and I have found him to be a really decent person and representative of his party. So I look forward to both of us contesting the ideas, and we'll do it in a way that I hope shows leadership for how we can and should debate in the election coming forward.
Member for Menzies, Keith Wolahan, we will see you then. See you on Wednesday. Looking forward to it.